What's up, Chris?
What's going on, Jay?
It
What's going
is the
on?
day. It is the day to talk about
About all kinds of things,
Shopify.
right?
Yes.
I'm stoked for it. So we talked about this last week. Shopify just dropped their really, I guess they're just about to drop their Summer 25 edition, and they've highlighted all the things that are going to be seen in that. But there's like over 100 new updates. And some of them, some of them may even be able to help make you more money. But today, we're going to focus on like we can't talk about 100 things at the same time. And so what we've decided to do is to break this down into a couple different shows where we highlight some themes of what Shopify is doing. And so that's what we're going to start doing today, and we're going to do again in the future a couple more times. So today the focus is all about checkout speed and conversion boosting features that you can implement fast. We're going to talk about the 5 features that came out this time, and those 5 features that help you with this checkout process and help you make those things fast and easy and all that good kind of stuff. But before we get to that, welcome everyone to the e-commerce hour by On the Rocks. I'm Chris and he's Jay, and we are here to talk to you all about these things. So Jay, I don't think there's any sense in like spending any more time with it. Let's just jump right in.
Yeah, let's jump in. Just the only thing I want to let y'all know is this information has dropped, but the update has not. The update will drop on the 12th. So that's important to know, June 12th.
Yeah.
Because I started looking for it because I was all excited when reading about all this stuff. And I'm like,
Right.
oh man, it's not here yet.
Right. Well, and it's important to remember too, Jay. The last update was the boring update where there were a bunch of like behind the scenes things. This one is a little less boring. We got a little bit more stuff happening. But the very first thing that we're going to talk about is actually still quite boring, and that is that that Shopify is continuing to enhance and improve their checkout experience. So just like they did in the boring update, they've increased the speed of the checkout process. So there's 2-second faster loads. Which helps to lower cart abandonment. We've talked about this a lot, right? 2 seconds, like this seems like a lot, but
So you said this is a boring update, but it's to keep you from getting bored. That's the whole point of it.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Another thing, another improvement with the checkout process is that there now flat rate shipping can be split across split orders, which leads to less cart shock. And then Apple Pay is now everywhere. So even for subs and those types of things, you can now use Apple Pay, which means that you can now see that improved checkout speed, which could have been costing you some time, right? As people were like, "Oh, this is taking too long." Now you have even less lag there. That should help to improve that checkout speed. Jay, when it comes to like these faster, smoother checkouts, any extra thoughts on checkout speed?
Well, it all comes down to that one thing we talk about over and over, time after time: less friction. The less time you have to spend on a site, you're less apt to walk away and leave your items in the cart. And that ultimately is what getting to the checkout faster does. It lowers cart abandonment, and it allows you to get that turnover faster. So that's an awesome thing. And, speaking of less friction, having Apple Pay on all of your orders and allowing you to accept payments faster means the client has less work to send you a payment. That ultimately is what you're aiming for. Now, the single flat rate shipping, imagine you're running a warehouse and you have product shipping. You're running a e-commerce company, and you are shipping items from multiple locations. Well, this takes the guesswork out of it from having to calculate. And in the past, that's what Shopify did. It would not allow you to have flat rate shipping for some reason on multiple shipping locations, which I thought was kind of strange.
Yeah, good update,
but yeah, this is a good update because now if you take all the guesswork out of it, it's going to cost $10 to ship that package. So yeah, it's much clearer to the end user, the end purchaser, so to speak. So that's what you want, So, think about when was the last time you actually bought something from your own website. Think about the impact of a slower checkout. And, what could be the impact? I mean, it could be a 10% reduction in sales. You don't want that.
Yeah, and so I know that they're making 2 seconds shaved off, right? Like that is more time, and I think that we'll continue to see Shopify do all that they can to continue to make that improvement, right?
Yeah.
I will be a little bit shocked if like every single update doesn't have just a small little tweak to how these load times work.
But there's one other thing that I want to point out about the checkout process.
Okay.
Shopify has also put in an AI-driven fraud detection in that faster checkout. So it's ensuring that these sales that you are making are actual sales and they're not fraudulent. So, kudos to you, Shopify. That's another awesome update right there.
Yeah, that is great. Absolutely. The second thing that we want to talk about are Horizon themes and AI store designs that Shopify will be rolling out this time. So they're introducing a new Horizon framework. This gives you 10 clean, conversion optimized themes that you can select from, that you can pick to help support your store. Jay, I don't know much about the Horizon framework. Is this something new? Is this the whole thing is new?
I'm imagining it is all new. It's got a brand new drop and drag builder to make it easier to use, and making it easier. This is some of where it's making the platform faster outside of checkout by using this theme, because it's making much more efficient use of the website and the server side updates that's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah. And they're also, so with that, like you mentioned, there's a drag and drop edition that also incorporates AI generated sections of your shop.
Yep.
Including promo banners and other like areas where you can click, right? Sections, AI generated areas that help to not just to make that page load faster, like you're talking about, Jay, but also probably to make it a little prettier, and all of that kind of stuff. And then
probably do a much better job on some of the content that we could too.
I'm sure that's true. It also includes a faster time to launch. So like you were talking about, Jay, this is just like we talked about with checkout, faster time to launch. So getting that browser up, getting someone on your web page, and getting them there faster means it's faster to revenue.
Yeah.
So you can turn a new product launch into a high converting page, just like kind of in just a few minutes. Which is super exciting. So you can start to add these pages in with these themes, have the AI generated sections to help support them, and then get them ready to go, which is a super exciting thing. Jay, when you think about these themes and the AI store design stuff, I know we've talked about like this incorporation of AI across a lot of different things, but this feels like a natural execution of that.
For sure. Think about, you're building a new site, or you want to redesign your site. You give the AI what you're looking for, and it builds a completely new layout for your page. And the nice thing is, you could set these up and put one product on one layout design, or even A/B test the same product on two layout designs and see which one resonates better with the customer. And then give that feedback back to the AI, and it can optimize it for you.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely great. So utilizing AI is so important, and Shopify integrating that right into your product pages and the development of them is definitely a great update. And I like you, Jay, I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like in practice.
For sure,
I think that's a really neat feature. The third thing that we're going to talk about today are our upgrades and improvements to the Shop app. One of these things is the thing that we've talked about so many times here. That's real-time product recommendations right there on your site, right there on your page, which as we've talked about and as we've pointed out, leads to more average order value. So when you get that product recommendation that fits right into the profile of whatever it is that person's looking for, that can be really, really powerful. And they're on the Shop app, right? That gives your brand better brand visibility if you're already a trusted consumer app. So that can be a really, really valuable tool also. Jay, have you used the Shop app?
I've used it in the past. I mean, if you're tracking anything through Shopify, it comes up through the Shop app anyway. But now, I mean, in the past you could use it, and you could push products to the Shop app. But now, when you go in there, you're going to see items that are specifically designed for you, and well, not designed, but targeted to you or marketed to you.
Right?
Personalized, yeah. And I'm sure I'll go in there and I will see things from some of my favorite NASCAR drivers, from their Shopify shops or yeah. So that's cool. Love to see that.
Right. That is again, and it's another natural extension of kind of what we've talked about for a while. Obviously, right there on the Shop app is one thing versus like on your page itself, right? But knowing that if that's the customer that you're targeting, that your personalized information and product recommendations can just like populate right there. That's a really great opportunity.
Yeah.
They're also rolling out a portion of this that's collaborative customer collections and wish lists, so that I think about that a lot when I use Amazon. I have an Amazon wish list, right, where I keep the things that I'm thinking about buying, but I don't want to keep that web page open or whatever. And so being able to have these wish lists and collections, I think, are super valuable as well. And then Jay, I don't know a whole lot about this, and so I kind of felt bad like when I was reading this. So I'm like, what's a variant swatch for mobile? Should I know what that means?
So think about, let's say you're buying some shoes.
Right.
You have different colors. So instead of having the drop down for brown, black, gray, whatever, you have swatches, and you could just see them on the screen. So you can see the different colors versus having to use the drop down picker to pick or select the color shoe you want. So it's going to be a whole lot smoother. It removes the friction of having to click on the drop downs, and I'm pretty sure this is mobile only anyway, because I'm pretty sure on the web app it's already there where it's showing the different pictures, so you could do that. So it's just making it smoother on mobile, because as we've been talking about, Gen Z wants it on the mobile, so we have to gear everything we're doing towards Gen Z, because they are the $1 trillion market.
That's right. Plus, also, people like you and me, Jay, we're also buying on mobile. Let's not fool ourselves.
Right?
So it's not just Gen Z. It's the mobile experience. Like it. Sure, yeah, it's nice to point to Gen Z and blame it all on them, but the mobile experience is just now more popular. Like we are tied to our phones all the time, and shopping experience through your phone is just continuing to happen.
Yeah, most definitely.
For those of you with an actual physical presence, Jesus, what is going on? The Shopify point of sale system has also gotten some upgrades. That's our fourth topic for today. That includes a unified buy and ship experience for those in-store purchases, so that you can say this order is already resolved because somebody took it right out of the store. They have improved or introduced. This couldn't possibly be the first time this has happened. Oh, they have now introduced tap to pay with no extra hardware. So that's always a fun experience. I know I've been I don't know if I've talked about this on the show. I left my credit card somewhere at a restaurant a couple months ago, and so now like the only version that I have is the e-version, and so it's very helpful to be able to tap to pay anywhere, and without having to worry about that extra hardware, right? Like the little like credit card device thing on the side that's plugged into the little iPad, like those things, they have potential problems with them, right? Like they could get disconnected, the internet could be bad, there's all kinds of different problems that could go along with that. But if they're connected right to that device, it's so much easier just to flip the thing around, customer tap, move on. So
as we've discussed, I've always used Shopify to run the concessions for the dance studio when Abby was there, and
Yeah.
there are many complaints this year because they weren't using Shopify and did not have tap to pay. But but I will tell you that I had 2 different card readers. One was a tap to pay, one was a slider, and we constantly had connection issues with them.
Cool.
And it made it really difficult. We always had somebody always having a phone ready to go in and manually type in the numbers. But I mean, think about not having that issue. That's one more piece of hardware you don't have to worry about. You're using the native NFC and connectivity in your phone, your iPad, your tablet, whatever it happens to be. So it's one less thing to break or lose, easier to set up, and easier to use. So, it's win-win-win across the board.
Yeah, and there's some other ways that it's winning as well, and that's that they've also introduced a brandable point of sale system, which is better for that in-person branded experience. So being able to flip it around and see like your little emblem on there, like how cool is that? That is a nice little upgrade for sure. And so of course this type of thing is great for pop-ups, for like Jay, like you're talking about the little weekend experience, right? The markets, there are all kinds of uses, especially if you're like an up and coming brand and you enjoy the idea of going to the farmer's market on the weekend and putting your product out there because the people in your neighborhood are going to really support your product. Like this opportunity is a great one. Jay, any other thoughts on the point of sale upgrades?
I mean, I already loved the Shopify POS before. This is just going to elevate it to the next level. And like you said, this is the go-to tool. I mean, if you're already selling on Shopify, it's a no-brainer. Just add the POS and start selling, whether you're brick and mortar, out at farmer's market, or on the run. I mean, go for it.
Yep. And then our final item for today. So our final our final user experience, checkout speed, and frictionless buying item for the day. So topic number 5 is store performance and site speed tools that are being added. So Shopify is now introducing a core web vitals dashboard, which is intended to provide you some information around some of that key stuff. They're also introducing the ability to print pack lists or pick lists and bulk labels, so you can have this efficiency on your operation side. And then like we've already talked about, kind of a boring thing because it happens behind the scenes, but Shopify is continuing to improve the speed of sites, so they're making the sites faster, so you can have that more trusted that the site's not ever going to be down, and then you can improve the sales process along the way. There are also some metrics that you can use to test performance regularly. The Lighthouse, Jay, are you familiar with Lighthouse?
I am not familiar with Lighthouse, no.
Yes, I'm not either, but apparently you can use Lighthouse or Shopify's own metrics to test that performance regularly.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, so those are some other important updates there. When it comes to these types of things, again, we've talked about it already as we talked about it with the checkout pages, but as you're like making both your front end and your back end a little bit easier, a little bit more efficient, you're going to continue to improve your customer experience. And as we've talked about time and time again, and especially with our Gen Z compadres out there, our Gen Z compadres, they one bad customer experience will they'll never even come back. And so these types of things to improve customer experience and make sure that your customers are getting a great experience every single time, so valuable to the long-term value that you can get from customers that you are able to acquire. So I think that these updates are really, really going to be powerful, even though you might not notice them that much.
Well, you might not, and I'm hoping that they're going to put some alerts or notifications on the Core Web Vitals dashboard, because what it's doing is going to be looking at page load times. Mm-hmm. And if there is a specific theme or block that might be taking longer to load, or if there's an app. So if you're like me and you are loading up your Shopify with all these other apps that are running in the background, whether it's to do your upsells or whatever, it's looking in the background for these things that are making it slow. And if it does pop up, you want to know immediately. You don't want to have to look at that at the end of the day to figure out you had a problem all day. You want to go and get an alert on that, or maybe have an API connected to that to shoot out a Slack message or something. But you're going to know that your site is suffering from something before you're going to have the sales fall off, that you can actually address it. So, and you're going to know the reason why, because it's going to be there. And the other thing is, having the ability to print pick lists directly from Shopify. For those of you that are out there that aren't using inventory management system, that's going to make things a lot easier, and just make your life just a joy from this point forward.
Absolutely. So again, we talked about the 5 things that are helping to improve that customer experience and helping to also make sure that you're getting to see better checkout speed, more frictionless buying. We're talking about those 5 things today. And again, those 5 are: we got faster checkout, smoother checkout with the 2-second faster load pages. We've got Horizon-powered themes and AI store designs. We've got shop app improvements. We've got the point-of-sale upgrades. And then finally, we've got behind-the-scenes, back-end store performance and site speed tools, both to improve the performance, but also to give you the visibility into some of those leading indicators instead of lagging indicators. So if you're looking for some impact and some changes, they're coming. Again, it's next week, June 12th, that these things are rolling out. And we'll as we continue to go here on the e-commerce hour, we're going to talk about next week. We're going to talk about another top 5 sets of things, but this time it's into scaling and revenue generation, because Shopify, they didn't just want to make the customer experience better, they also wanted to make the seller experience better. And so that's what we'll talk about next week, is the top 5 things that you can look for that have made the seller experience better. And then after that, Jay, I think we're even going to, once we get the opportunity to play around in it a little bit, we may even do like we did last year, and or with the boring edition, and highlight for you exactly what that looks like. So if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the show so you can see us walk through that for you, and so that you can come back next week to hear us talk about those things that can help you to grow your revenues. That's pretty exciting. And otherwise, we appreciate your time and are glad that you spend time with us on the e-commerce hour. So once again, I'm Chris, and he's Jay, and we are here to talk about all things e-commerce, and we'll be back again to do that next week. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.